Hello, and welcome to this short video on our Inspect program. Today I want to have a conversation about report generation in Inspect. Oftentimes I talk with prospects or existing customers that have been using fitness for service programs in the past that leave them wondering where answers come from or how are these answers calculated simply because their output report was a simple number or a value. So if you have to submit this to an auditor or you're trying to verify for yourself and you're not sure where the number comes from, maybe it's time we have a look at Inspect. And that's what I want to show you today. So we're going to use this tall tower that you see in front of you, and just a couple things that stand out. Obviously it's a tall tower, but you've got multiple shell courses, so the thickness is going to vary along the length of the column. You've got external vacuum rings, you've got multiple nozzles at different elevations, things like that. So there's going to be rigging analysis, there's going to be wind, seismic, multiple liquid levels that are calculated automatically for you. All of those factor in to the values that we use in the formulas to get our results. So I've also gone ahead on the bottom here and modeled some damage flaws as well. So you can see I've got a metal loss as well as some pitting overlaid on it as well. And the modeling is very simple. A lot of times you can just drag and drop nozzles. We've got the quick design, things like that. It's very easy to get engineers up and running and trained with this program. But what I want to do is show you guys how to run a report quickly. So once this gets modeled, what you can do is simply come up here and click on the green F3 button right here. I'll just click continue here to the efficiencies dialog. And we're at the output report. So you can see it very quickly, it didn't take me very long to run this report. So I didn't have to run multiple calculations and modules or add-ons and then compile a report, because that just takes time and it's wasteful. So we were able to generate a full calculation report simply by clicking the F3 button. You can even customize the reports. You can actually choose which reports you want to have in. So for example, if you don't want to have a nozzle schedule, you just want the fitness or service report, you can do that as well. But let's go through some other notable reports here. So on the left, there's a listing of summary reports. There's a deficiency summary, so you can see if anything's deficient. Maybe it's a new design or this thing has been corroded heavily, things like that. You can see the deficiency. You can see the weight report, so you can see how much the operator is going to have to lift. Each component that's modeled, cylinders, nozzles, everything gets its own detailed report as well. So if you're looking verify where a T-min came from, you can go through it. Now I'll use the case of a cylinder because it's a relatively straightforward calculation. But as you can see, everything here is detailed out. And then you start getting into the more complicated external pressure calculations, things like that. Now I'll scroll down to the bottom here. And at the bottom, you can see here we've got our fitness or service report. So I've got my metal loss number 1, which is my general metal loss. And here's your fitness or service report. So everything, all the basic information here is listed at the top. And then you scroll down, you've got results summary, you've got your thickness profiles, and then your supporting calculations down here. So we list out the formulas as well as the values that we're going to be using in it. Now, going back to that tall tower that I had, there are a lot of things to consider. So for example, when you come to the supplemental loads calculation, these get very involved very quickly. But the good news is everything's listed out here for you so you can verify. Now, one thing that you need to note, so for example, when we're looking at that tower, having a 3D graphic, let's actually just switch back to the model here. I'll just switch back here. Having this 3D model, being able to say, well, the metal loss is on the bottom cylinder, but if you're using a spreadsheet or an Access database interface and you accidentally say, well, it's got modeled up on the top cylinder, well, then all those things I listed before, your liquid levels, wind, and seismic, those aren't going to be accounted for appropriately for that metal loss. So having a quick visual check is key to make sure, okay, it's modeled in the correct location. I can come back to my report. Let's click on the report icon. And then I'm confident that when I'm looking at the report, it's been modeled in the correct location so that all the other items that I've modeled on it are being taken into consideration appropriately. But as you can see, everything's detailed out here, so you get a full detailed report to hand to an auditor or an inspector or verify for yourself as well. So you'll have that confidence knowing that the results that we give you are correct. So I can switch back to the model, and there you go. So within a matter of seconds, I can generate a full detailed report without having to compile anything or have to go to separate modules, things like that. Everything is contained within our Inspect program. Now, if you'd like to learn more about our Inspect program, please email sales@codeware.com or call us at 941 927 2670.